Hi there, I'm Jazz, your blind occupational therapist. Welcome to the Insight Channel, your user's guide to living life with vision loss. In this video, it's part 2 of a 3-part series on simple but very different ways you can prepare eggs if you cannot see. So let's get started. Today's Eggstravaganza requires the oven. If you love a good omelet but you don't like cooking at the stove, this is the perfect recipe for you. Today I'm going to show you how to make little mini omelets by using your muffin pan in the oven. This is a great recipe if you have any degree of vision loss or if you're perfectly sighted and just want to try something new. Today I'll be using 10 eggs, 1 cup of milk, all the fixins to put in the omelets, such as cheese, bacon, sausage, peppers and onions, a little cilantro, and my favorite cooking spray, which is coconut spray, a little bit of butter, and of course you need a whisk, your muffin pan, and a nice sized bowl. Here are the steps to follow. Step 1. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Now I have a newer oven, so it's a flat panel. On my panel, I have little locator dots that are hard to see but easy to feel. So it allows me to set all the buttons independently. If you would like to do this in your own oven, check out one of my earlier videos on flat panel appliances. Step 2, organize your workspace. Make sure that it's clean and clear of any clutter and it just has the tools you need for the job. I like to define my workspace by using a placemat or a dish towel. If you have low vision, you want to choose a color that allows you to use contrast so you can better see the items that are on the space. If you are blind, then you can feel it and it'll help you to stay oriented to where everything is by using your sense of touch. Step 3 is to prepare your muffin tin by spraying it with your favorite nonstick spray. So be sure that you use your sense of touch to stay oriented to where the little cups are. I usually like to have it so it's 3 across and 4 down. And then after you spray each of the little muffin tins, you're going to want to put a little pat of butter into the tin. Now, I use my fingers. If you are visually impaired, it's the easiest way to have control over what you're doing and to more evenly measure out what you're doing. So I like to put a little dab of butter in the bottom of each cup because it gives it really good flavor. And you can't be squeamish about things that feel greasy or slick or slippery when you're cooking. If you have vision impairment, because like I said, this is what really helps you to know what's going on. I like to keep a little wet rag next to me, so if I need to wipe my fingers quickly, I have it there. And there we go, one more and we are good to go. Step 4, prepare your eggs by cracking all 10 of them into a bowl for the sake of time. I did that already, or I cracked all the eggs already. Then you want to pour 1 cup of milk into the bowl. Now, this is not a precise measurement here, so just hold the dry measuring cup over the bowl. Put 1 little finger in it so you can feel when the liquid rises to the top. And then when it's full, dump a little bit more. When it's full, you pour it in. If it overpours just a tiny bit, that's okay, as long as it goes in the bowl. So I'll put that off to the side. Then we're going to add just a pinch of salt and pepper to taste. I pour it into the palm of my hand so I can judge how much is going in there. And you know what? That's about 2 pinches of salt, which is good for this amount of eggs. Then I put a couple of dashes of pepper. And it is time to mix it all together. So I've got a whisk and I'm going to whisk the eggs. Now, once I've got this good and blended together, If you are going to make your omelets all the same, you can actually add those ingredients into this mixture right now. So then you can just simply pour them into the cups and you're good to go. But I am going to do it a little bit differently because my family's picky and everybody likes their omelets a little bit different. So I'm just going to do the egg mixture right now and then pour it into the cups and then add the special omelet ingredients for each of my family members. Step 5 is to fill the muffin cups, and you only want to fill them about 2/3 of the way full. So I like to use a 1/4 cup dry measuring cup, and that usually tends to get the perfect amount in each cup. So you're going to have to use your sense of touch to stay oriented, to know where you've started and where you're going, and your sense of proprioception to help you judge the distance between the bowl with the mixture in it and the muffin cups. Step 6 is to customize your omelets if you're doing different things for different people. If you mixed everything into the main mixture and they're all going to be the same, then they're ready to go in the oven and you can skip this step. But for right now, I'm going to show you what I do for my family. So there are 4 of us, and we all like it a little bit differently. My son is going to be the top row, and he just likes a little bacon. He's got simple taste. So I take a little pinch of bacon bits and I am sprinkling them in each of the cups. Now, while I've got the bacon out, I'm going to go down and also put it in my husband's muffins because he likes bacon. Just again, a little bit of a pinch. And I'm using my proprioception to stay oriented and to know I'm in the right row of muffin cups. Now, other than bacon, my husband also likes to have sausage. So I am going to make sure that I've got a little bit of sausage in each one of his cups. My daughter also likes sausage in hers, so she's the next row down. I'm gonna toss a little bit in each of her cups as we go. Okay. Now, so my husband has the bacon and the sausage. He also likes cheese. My son doesn't like cheese. So what I'm going to do is take a little sprinkling of cheese. I'm using my hands to always make sure I'm on the correct row. And I'm also going to go ahead and sprinkle cheese into my daughter's row while I'm at it and have it out. Okay, they like theirs nice and cheesy. I use a different cheese for mine. Okay, so my husband has everything he needs. My son has his. Now my daughter, she likes a little bit of onion and pepper in her omelet. So I'm gonna go ahead and toss a little bit of onion and pepper in hers. And I'm also going to throw a little bit of onion and pepper in my row. Okay, perfect. Now, my daughter has everything she likes. I'm going to finish off mine. I like to have mine with a little Southwest flair. And so I have here some fresh cilantro, which is amazing in an omelet if you guys haven't tried that before. And so I just put a little bit of fresh cilantro. Then I have over here to the right some separate bowls with just my fixings. And I have a little bit of diced jalapeno I'm tossing in to give it a kick. And some pepper jack cheese. Again, to give it that Southwest flair. And so now what you're gonna do is mix it up a little bit. Take a fork or a knife just to go back, and I'm gonna start up here, just to stir them up a little bit so everything isn't clumped in one spot. And again, don't be afraid to get your fingers dirty when you're doing this, because when you're visually impaired, sometimes you just gotta get your fingers dirty. I like to keep a sink full of warm soapy water, just so you guys know, when I'm preparing food, so I can always walk over and quickly and easily wash my hands as I'm going. So for step 7, what you want to do is to clean up the edges around the muffin cups to make sure that if you've spilled any egg or any of the ingredients that they aren't on the edges and everything is nice and clean before you put it in the oven. Step 8 is to place your muffin pan in the oven. Use the techniques that I showed you in a previous video on baking in the oven. So I'm going to be very gentle when I put it in, but I also am going to be very careful to stay oriented so I know which row of cups is facing the back of the oven. That way I'll know whose is who when I take it out. Step 9 is to set your timer for 12 to 15 minutes. It's going to be dependent on how you like your eggs. Do you like them a little bit runny or do you like them a little more dry? For our family, I find that 15 minutes is the sweet spot, so go ahead and use whatever timer method you choose. You can use your smartphone, your smartwatch, or even have Alexa help you. Computer, set timer for 15 minutes.
15 minutes, starting now.
Computer, stop timer. Step 10 is to carefully remove the pan from the oven like I showed you in a previous video. So I'm going to open the oven, reach in. I like to use a pot holder where I can put my hand inside of it. It gives me a little bit more control. Oh my gosh, these smell delicious. So I put them on the stove and we're going to give them a minute or two to cool. They puff up at first, but then they're going to kind of fall back down when they start to cool a little bit. So now that they're out of the oven, you want to test them just to make sure that they are cooked to the consistency you want. So you do it the same way you would with any other muffin. You use a toothpick when it comes out. If it's moist, that tells you they're still a little runny. If it's dry, you know they're good to go. These are perfect. So now that it's cooled for a few minutes, I can go in with a little spatula or a knife just to go around the edges to separate it from the muffin pan and make sure it pops out nicely. So step 11 is to actually pop it out, put it on a plate, and it's ready to serve. So now you have insight into how this works. You can safely and effectively make beautiful mini omelets in the oven with any degree of vision. They also keep beautifully in the refrigerator and they make a great quick breakfast when you're on the go. So keep that in mind. In my last video, I'm going to show you how you can make eggs in the microwave. So stay tuned for part 3 of the Insight for Blind Eggstravaganza. Hey, before I go, I've started making little mini shorts to give you quick tips and tricks on how to make your life easier with vision loss. I call them Little Insights. Check them out and let me know what you think about them in the comments section on your screen. Thanks for watching. Click the thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Be sure to subscribe if you want to be notified for future videos. You don't want to miss part 3. And of course, send me your comments, your questions, your ideas for future videos. I'd love to hear from you. My job is to give you the tips, tools, and techniques for making life easier with vision loss. So no worries, you got this. See you next time.